Well, welcome everyone. It's great to have so many people here. I'm here to talk about the newly established program, which has been in the works, I think, for quite a while now, which is a structural marine fitter program, which we've established in India. And I'd like to go into some numerous details about the course and some more information and hopefully answer any questions that you might have regarding the course. What I'll do first is we'll do some introductions. My name's Rob Gale. I'm the head of training at IMEC. And I'll pass over to my colleague, Chloe, so she can introduce herself.
Hello everyone, my name's Chloe Esdaile and I'm the Deputy Head of Training here at IMEC, mainly the supporting role of the various training programs we have at IMEC. Nice to meet everyone.
Thanks, Chloe. And then what I'll do is I'll pass over to Captain Shurang Manjeshwar, who is the Executive Director of Operations at the ISF Group.
So on mute, you're on mute.
Hi everyone, my name is Srirang Manjeshwar. I've been with ISF Group, and we are the academic partners for NUSI Offshore Training Institute, and been with ISF since about 2 years. I'm the executive director there now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over to yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry, Shurang, no problem. Yes, I'll just pass over to Puspin Ghosh. If you can please introduce yourself as well, please.
Yeah, right. Myself, engineering faculty here at NOTAI. So actually, I have experienced, I've worked with Indian Register of Shipping Classification Society for a few years. Then after that, I've joined one GP rating training academy. There also I worked for 6-7 years, and then finally I landed up here. So I am now looking after all the engineering sites.
Perfect, thank you. One of our experts for this presentation, which is absolutely perfect. And lastly, but never least, I'll just hand over to Fayaz, who's part of the admin team at NOTAI. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Fayaz.
Thank you, Rob. This is Fayaz Petkar from NOTAI. I'm part of the NOTAI since last 8 years. My seagoing experience is 23 years as a pumpman with Chevron. And at present, I'm here, the academic administrator. And
perfect.
All from the I7. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. As you can see, lots and lots of lots of experience for this call. So let's crack straight on. How did we get here? Why are we here talking about this today? We've been aware at IMEC through our members now for a few years that there's a high demand for fitters in the maritime industry. This is something that is we've noted for a while now, and so we've certainly been looking at different avenues as to how we can help the maritime industry and our members in providing fitters to the industry. And earlier this year, IMEC visited India. Myself and the CEO Francesco were out in India to look at establishing a cadet program, coincidentally. And part of that visit, we traveled to NUSI's NOTAI facility, the Offshore Training Institute, and we were really impressed with the facilities. We were really impressed with the lecturers, the instructors, and essentially what could be provided to help solve this problem. And so what we did is we sat down with NUSI and NOTAI, and we discussed potentially what we could do and how we could help assist the industry in this space, but also provide maximum benefit to our members. And so what we've done is we've established a training course over 6 weeks, which will look at IMEC members providing ratings and crew on board their own vessels who are showing really good opportunities and really interested and motivated in being promoted to being a fitter, and helping them along that way through this training course. And so a few more details about the training course itself. It will be a 6-week training course. We're planning to start those courses in January next year, and there'll be 5 in total. So we'll be looking for a capacity of 180 fitters potentially to be upskilled from those ratings next year. The first course will be completely free for members. I think that was really important for us to discuss with NUSI to ensure that we get a lot of involvement and a lot of uptake. And I think once members have had an opportunity to see their ratings through this program, they'll start to understand that this is a really good project. In advance of that, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th courses will be heavily discounted, which works out approximately when you include accommodation and food, approximately $588 per person per course, which I think is extremely good value. And we've put together a list of requirements, very short, but we wanted to ensure that we don't just get everyone as part, but we'd like to see evidence of a completed general purpose ratings program or certificate. So whether that's an AB license, an OS, or perhaps a pump man, or other roles. And we'd like to see evidence of a minimum of 6 months sea time. So that would be a sea service testimonial, or perhaps your vessel, your seaman's discharge book. And that's absolutely fine. One thing also to highlight that this course is, although it's being conducted in India, this course is available for all ratings of any nationality. But one thing we'd like to stress is that we will be providing the details to NUSI and NOTI 2 months prior to the course starting. And if there are nationalities outside of India that would like to be part of this course that you'd like to put forward, we would like you to give them 1 month's notice so that visa letters can be prepared through NUSI. I think that is, from my side, more than enough for now. To give you a bit more information about the facility and the training institute itself, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass over to either Fayaz or Puspin. If you can please just give some general details about the facilities, what is on site, the location, and more about it, please. That would be really useful. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. The location is outskirts of the Mumbai, around 9 to 12 kilometers from the Panvel. The facility is well organized, and we have 2 workshops where we can conduct the IMEC course, that the fitter training, and then plus our regular courses without hindering each other. Accommodation is really excellent. The dormitory, which in one of the photograph you can see, and the faculty is really experienced. All faculties are experienced, well experienced, and checked, properly tested throughout the years of the NOTI. NOTI started in 2013 to keep in mind of the offshore business, but slowly we get into the main fleet, and right now we have lots of other skill-based courses for the Indian seafarers under the NUSI section program. That's all I think. If you need more information in question and answer session, I'm happy to answer.
Perfect. Thank you, Fayaz. And really, one thing that was very clear to us was the experience and the amount of years and decades that NUSI and NOTI have been working to upgrade seafarers' skills. And as you mentioned, Fayaz, not only that, there are other courses that they provide: seamanship, ratings training, and fitter training, and also, as he mentioned before, there is another wing which does a lot of offshore work, so that's DP simulators and the like as well. We were really impressed with the amount of equipment that they had, as you can see in some of the pictures, and the quality of the teaching staff there. Puspin, I'd like to invite you forward to speak if you can provide a little bit more detail about the different types of training that will be covered in the course. I've got some bullet points on the screen, but if you could go into more detail, that would be really appreciated.
Yeah, right, sir. Thank you. So actually, we are giving the course that it's already highlighted. Like then I'll give some details. Machinery maintenance. Under machinery maintenance, normally we'll give training regarding general maintenance of daily requirements on board ship, like some like purifier, pumps, different kind of pumps, then air compressor, all these machineries. Fitting skill also we are giving will be planning to give training on like hacksawing, drilling, uh, then familiarization with different kind of tools and their proper use. Just I'll give one example for that, because this familiarization, why it is important. Familiarization of tools, like simple. We know that there are different kind of chisels we are using, but actually the each chisel for what purpose we should use. So that may not be knowing. A lot of seafarers are that they are that they may not be knowing the actual use of the each and individual chisel. So we'll provide those kind of training in details for fitting shop. And then of course it's coming the lathe work, which is very important for any fitter. So we are giving lathe training like facing, turning, grooving, then threading. Means the most of the works that we need on board ship for doing the maintenance, that all works we will teach here for lathe jobs, including the lathe machineries parts and a little bit maintenance on the lathe also, and then the tools, maintenance of lathe tools also. Then after that it comes welding. Welding course we are giving arc welding and gas welding knowledge in of groove and fillet, both welding, fillet up to 4F position and groove. Also, according to the candidate's potential, will give him up to 3G level for arc welding. So if he can reach, that depends upon the candidates. So our target is to give him up to 3G level arc welding. And then except that we also give training on plasma arc cut, plasma cutting. So these are the total course details we have made according to the highlights has been given on the flyer. So this is the miss. In short, I can give you this much.
Perfect. Thank you, Puspin. And just to go into more detail as well, that we have the timetable here. Is there anything you'd like to go into more detail on the timetable that I've got here, Puspin? I think what we're trying to highlight is there's a lot. We're putting in as much as we possibly can to ensure that we're really training these guys to the highest standard.
Yeah, right, Rob. So I'm telling you about the timetable. So timetable, that is we have divided. We'll make actually the we'll take that expect that 36 candidates will get. So we'll divide in 3 groups. So one group will be trained for fitting and machining for 1 week. 1 week fitting and machining. Machining only 2 days, and remaining 3 days for the fitting, and 1 day will be theoretical and practical assessment. Then 2 weeks for the lathe. 2 weeks for the lathe. So on lathe, last day of the on the lathe, the practical and also theoretical assessment will be there. And same like welding, we have kept 3 weeks. Total 3 weeks for the welding, so that we can bring up the skill of the candidate up to 3G level. So same like for welding also, last day there will be some practical and theoretical assessment. So on that basis, we'll issue the certificates to them. So that is the timetable we have proposed. And theory part, we will not take too much time for the theory part, because theory part as planned, that during the practical only we'll discuss about the theory part, so that we can give more time on the practical. So when during the practical, if we discuss the theory part, I think that will be better for them.
Yeah, and I completely agree, Puspin. I think what we were thinking when we put this course together was to ensure that they get as much hands-on experience as possible, because being a fitter, a lot of the work is incredibly practical. So to be able to provide that theory training during the practical, I think is really important. Shirang, I noticed you had your hand up. Is there something you wanted to add?
Yeah. What I wanted to mention was I just shared with you the course objectives, Rob, on the email. Whichever IMEC member would like to have a look, you can share it with them, because this gives you detail point by point on each subject, that the topics which are being covered. So it gives a very good, it's almost three pages of data that is there, and it will cover up most of the things, right from general shipboard safety up to the welding program. So I think we can share with the members, whoever would like to have it.
Absolutely. I think one of the tasks I had when preparing this presentation, from all of the information we'd worked together on, was to try and find enough to be bite-sized, but not to be too much information. So of course, we can share as much information as we have on this really great initiative. And just moving on, very simply, the first course that we're planning to run will be on January the 15th. This will be the free course. We also plan to run one in March, in May, July, and September. But one thing that's really important for us to highlight is, without membership involvement, without people coming forward and putting forward their candidates, the minimum number that NUSI and NOTI will actually run this course is 24. And so if we don't reach 24 people for the January course, then we'll have to postpone that, and then that will then roll over to the next course. So it really is important, and we really do urge, now that we've created an initiative that was really demanded for, that were, a lot of our members were asking for fitters, and we really hope that you come forward and let us know that you'd like to put people forward for that, and I'll go into more detail on the next slide about how you can actually register your interest. So what we've done at IMEC is we've created a Google form. It's a simple web page which allows you to provide all of your information, upload certifications of the ratings, and other evidence to prove that those candidates are acceptable course. And I've put together a QR code for you to scan if you'd like to do that now. But equally, I've also provided links from the invite into this Teams page, and also following this this Q&A session, I'll also send forward that link again, just so you have as many avenues into this as possible. I think from my side, the only other thing I wanted to mention is that, as inclusive of that cost, bed linen and towels will be provided, but we ask, of course, that each candidate brings their own personal toiletries, as you would expect for most courses, as this is a 6-week course. Also, NUSI, as part of this training course, will collect any local candidates from the most local train station in the mornings, and obviously joining instructions will be provided to all candidates in plenty of time before the course starts. And so with that, I think, unless Shirang, Fayaz, or Puspin, you have anything else to add, I think we can perhaps go to answering some questions if there are any in the audience. Wonderful. What I'll do is I will just that was odd. Let me just share my screen again. It just jumped me out. And yes, Albin, I see you've got your hands up.
Yeah, as usual. Yeah, just a pointer. I'm Casti, the noisemaker generally in this committee. This it's only up to 3G. I was just wondering about, do we also certify them after they're finished? Because most clients are now asking for 6G with a certificate. And from my years in Bombay, I remember that it's quite easy to get a class certificate. What's the thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Casti. This was something that we had extensive discussions on with NUSI and NOTI. So what will be provided is a NUSI and NOTI certificate. The facility itself is DMV registered, and that's a certificate that will be provided. But with regards to 6G, we looked at this, and what we found is that to go from 3G to 6G is such an extensive amount of training and actually so much more time. And what we wanted to do is provide a course that is enough. It's really difficult, right? You've got seafarers who are back from sea. They've only got a limited amount of time in order to perhaps undertake some training and also be with their loved ones. And so we tried to compact as much as we could into 6 weeks. And that led us to about 3G to ensure the quality was there. I think if we were to go up through the levels, I think that would then take up more time, and I think there'll be more difficulties from that. Sharang or Puspin, did you want to come in and add a bit more about that? Fayaz, yeah, you wanted to say something?
Yes. Apart from the DNV, we have LR certification also for the 6G. But in the 6 week is practically not possible to oiler to reach up to the 6G level. But if the candidate have the potential to reach up to the 6G level, we may not issue them a LR certificate, but at least we can train him, we test and give our report to the particular company. That we can do. LR certification, and that is a totally different process altogether for that 6G. And we have a different course in our belt, that the basic welding skill course, that the BWCP is the 3G certified. Means we testing, we send the test piece to the for the test in the lab, and then only we issue the certificate. But in this case, we are not going to send for the testing. But if a candidate have a potential, so accordingly we give a certain report to that particular company after the completion of the course.
So from what I understand is that if the guy has the pedigree, because it's a skill, welding is a skill. So if he has the pedigree and the class, then one would give him the opportunity to go enhance his level of skill. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That will be, I think,
makes sense. It makes sense.
One thing is that actually 3G the test will do in-house. That is the NDT test. So according to that, on the NDT test basis only will issue the certificate. But if he is failed that test, then we won't issue him up to 3G level. So that is the thing. And if he is passed in that NDT local in-house test, then only we'll issue the 3G up to 3G level certificate for him, for that candidates. And as Mr. Fayaz said, that for 6G, that is completely different course. And here we are after NDT also we are sending to lab test, and after passing out from the lab test, then LR is issuing for the 6G. So that is completely separate from this. And the most important factor for 6G, that timing, it needs actually extensive practice for that, and that's completely separate training for that. So for 6G, at least he should come with 3G experience, with 3G skills. Then only we can bring them up to 6G, not from the basic level. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. And I think what they're saying as well is that we're through this course we're connecting you with the right people. And so if candidates were showing 3G and plus qualities, then I think there's certainly a possibility and potential that through these facilities, then maybe in addition in future they can train up to that 6G level. So I think that's a really good opportunity once you've got these guys up to 3G level to then perhaps take that further. I see some more hands. Casti, I just want to check you're happy with the answer there. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. I think we'll go to Manjot. I think you are the next person in line with your question.
Yeah, very good afternoon and good evening to everyone. Just wanted to know, like you had given the date for the first batch, say what 15th of January. What will be the cutoff dates for each member to provide the candidates? That's what like 15 days prior, 1 month prior to the batch starting.
Perfect. Yeah, good question. So on the slide, what we've put a tentative deadline date of the 10th of November for the 15th of January course. And the reason why we've done that is because part of the agreement that we have with NUSI and NOTI to prepare them for the candidates is to give them 2 months notice of who will be eligible and who's put forward for the course. And so roughly for the first course, what will happen is the 10th of November will be that cutoff date for that first course. And then anyone who is putting forward candidates after that date will then go into the next course, if that makes sense. So the March course will then continue to fill. Once that reaches capacity, we'll then push that to the next course and you know, vice versa and onwards from there. So as it was stated, the maximum capacity for the course is 36 and the minimum to run each individual course is 24. Chloe, is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, just quickly on that. So when you scan the QR code and you go into the application form to put forward your chosen candidates, you will see that you'll have the option to select which course you would like to put those candidates on. And so essentially there is no real deadline of when members can request or put forward candidates. It's going to be like a rolling kind of situation. We kind of thought that was probably the best option. So when you fill out that form, we will be in contact with you and we can discuss further what would be the best option, just in terms of timings and also the availability of your candidates and their leave times, etc. So it's going to be quite a fluid process, but there's no sort of hard cutoff deadline as such for making applications. You can make them as frequently or infrequently as you want.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks. Yeah, and yeah, that's why we've for the first course, the only reason we asked for the 10th of November is purely as the course has to be ready for the 15th of January. We want a few days to just to make sure the details are correct and to confirm eligibility, and then we can send that over to NUSI and NOTI. Fantastic. Right. I believe next is Esdaile Baptista. If you've got a question.
Hi, yeah, good afternoon, Rob. I've been communicating with you through email actually, and this is a requirement for a few of our Angolan crew, like who are required to travel to India and undergo the fitters training, basically. So we have been struggling a bit because, as I had already mentioned to you, our requirement is for 6G and not the 3 level. It's a basic level, basic. So I understand, as per my understanding, this training is divided into 3 categories. It's basic, advanced, and then the 6G level. So as you just mentioned that you all have given a thought only to right now have a training through level 3. In future, I mean, you guys are going to train the candidates to level 3. So is there going to be any scope in future that you expand and you maybe enhance your training to a higher level like advanced and the 6G level? Because we are trying to gather the information from the market, and the challenge what we face is right now the training institutes are finding it a bit difficult to have the DNV surveyor to certify the candidates. So a bit of guidance from your side will help us actually.
Yeah, thanks, Esdaile. It's a good question. Yes, we absolutely have been going back and forth on this. Just to be very clear, this is a 6-week training course to build ratings up to the fitter level. And yes, you're right. Currently, this is work to build them up to a 3G level. We looked at that as kind of an industry standard. I completely empathize and understand that 6G is what a lot of people are asking for. But as Puspin has already reiterated, that's it requires much more extensive training for that. And just to really reassure you, when IMEC takes any initiatives forward, we always start as a pilot. And from that, what we do is gather as much information as we can for demand. We understand more about the feedback from the candidates on the course. We understand from our members how they found those candidates once they've gone back to see. And all of that information will build our knowledge of perhaps what to do next and the success of the course. And certainly, as we've already discussed during the Teams call, that the opportunity for candidates to then further their training to go up to 6G level, I certainly think is an opportunity and a possibility. And so I think at this time, I think we're looking at running this pilot course successfully to get to that 3G level. But certainly after that, there might be opportunities. And also by connecting you with NUSI and NOTI, you can certainly have those communications after or during the course with the admin staff there to maybe look at putting them forward on additional level training to 6G after that first initial course is done. So what I would suggest is, if you are interested, then certainly fill in those details for those Angolan seafarers. We'll be absolutely pleased to have them come onto the course, and then you can perhaps work through and organize and prepare training up to 6G level. Is that okay, Sweetal? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, we thought over it. We had a discussion this morning, so we are keeping that option on. Perhaps you can, train them partly to level 3, and then up you go like to 6G level. Then we may have to contact some other institute. The only thing I want to discuss the challenge is the training institute whom we are trying to get in touch with to get the entire package. They are facing problem to get the DNEV surveyor to certify them. So we will see how we going to handle that thing. So
Can I?
yeah, yes, Captain Manjeshwar.
Yeah, sorry. Rob, can I just interrupt?
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, this Swedel, what you can do is, as soon as you have the candidates ready,
Okay,
you
Captain.
can you can just contact Notai Booking, or you can contact me, and we
Okay.
can give you the details of 6G welding, because we are officially approved for carrying out 6G welding, and surveyors like from the saving or the certificates are issued through Lloyd Register. So they come and look at the entire welding assessments, etc., tests, etc. So you can contact us. We can give you the details.
Thank you so much, Captain. I'll get in touch with you, Captain. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So what you can do is you can club it with this program, and if the Angolans are ready to stay back and extend their stay and complete 6G, it would be ideal. Or they can
Yes, sir.
come separately for 6G if they have the 3G certification.
They are actually the motorman level, so they do
Yeah.
not have any qualification pertaining to the welders and fitters. So they
Yeah.
are we need to train them right from scratch. So that's the thing,
Yes.
Captain.
So only after 3G they will be able to do
Yes.
6G. But I think they should have a little bit of not little bit good skill for 3G. Then they can easily clear 6G. Because if they don't clear, then they repeating the entire program is expensive. And from 3G to 6G is a separate program, separate fees for the program. So it's not included in this particular part,
Yes.
and neither does it come into the NUSI Saksham program for the Indian seafarers.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So I'll get
Thank
in
you.
touch with you, Captain.
Yeah,
And
sure,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
There
Thanks,
we go,
Rob.
Sweetal.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
A
thanks.
one-stop shop to
Yeah.
hopefully go through the entire process. That should make your life a little bit easier. And
Yeah.
not to confess, I'm certainly not an expert as a former deck officer, but my understanding as well is that there are difficulties, of course, once you've obtained 6G level welding, that you have to maintain that certification year on year. And I think that was, part of the discussions as to why we also didn't look to include it at this stage. Anyway, let's crack on with the questions. Subodowasti, how are you doing? You good?
Hi Rob, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you. You have a question?
Yes, I have a question. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. And
Morning.
first, I got actually one question, but question is the qualification where we have mentioned number one is the GP rating training, and number two is the 6 months sea experience. So please advise if the watch keeping, the candidate should also have the watch keeping 2x4 or 3x4 in possession or no?
And just to clarify, Subodh, the 3x4 and 2x4, can you clarify what you mean by that? Sorry, just for my knowledge.
CCW.
That is CCW, watch keeping deck, watch keeping engine.
Yeah.
Understood. Yes.
Ratings
So
forming a part of engine room watch. Yeah. Sorry.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Because as per the qualification, what is mentioned is number one, they should have GP rating. That's fine. And then is mentioned 6 months. Any specific reason only 6 months? Because after 6 months, normally in India, these ratings, they go and apply watch keeping. So
yeah, and
so
yes. No, perfect. It's a really good question. And really, when we had these discussions with NUSI and NOTI, we were looking at do we just want to have an open book and to allow everybody onto the course, or would we actually like people that have actually been to sea and already gained a certain level of experience? So really that was kind of where these requirements came from. With regards to being an officer or in charge of a navigational watch or the other STC requirements, that's absolutely fine. For us, it's a GP general rating certificate and then that 6 month sea time.
Rob, can I jump in here?
Of course, Sankar, absolutely.
Yeah, Rob, what we had discussed is 6 months seat time because we said that we would prefer having a watch keeping certificate.
Yeah.
Okay. And so Sankalp has given the answer. So that was my first thing. Second thing, just a suggestion. Probably Captain Sankalp will agree, or maybe most of the people in India may agree. When we are converting, there is a shortage of the fitters, and the whole program is about the fitters. And there are a lot of fitters in India. Most of the fitters comes from the welder background. So what I was suggesting earlier, and probably we were also working on the similar type of program, that if we have, suppose we could have the two scenarios where the people who are from good welding background, but they have not seen the ship, but they hold the CDC, but they do not have sailing experience, but they have worked on yards, dry docks, or workshop. That is the one type of people. Or there are the other type of people who have the, say, more than 6 months or some amount of sea experience. They also hold the probably 6G certificate, or they may have 6G certificate or not certificate, but they have good experience, sailing experience, but they do not have done they have not done the GP training. So can we include them or not?
This is really good feedback. And as we were putting together this pilot course, we were looking at all of the different eventualities we could have, and I think it's certainly a question that we might need to take away and discuss with NUSI or NOTI. I mean, for this pilot course, that's certainly the requirements we'd like to have. However, I think what you've highlighted is that not everyone is perfect. There's not always a square peg for a round hole, and that we might need to consider other alternatives. But I think as we start this pilot course, I think we'd like to stick with the current requirements we have. However, feedback like this, Subodh, is really important for us, because once we come out at the end of this pilot course, we can certainly look at other eventualities, because when we looked at the 6 months sea time, we had a discussion on potentially we might want that to be 12 months and other certification that might come from that. And what we kind of decided in the end was that 6 months was probably suitable. Chloe, you wanted to come in?
Hi, yeah, just on that, might I suggest it might be beneficial if you, as I say, make an application or put forward the candidates that you have in mind, and the qualifications that they currently have, or the extensive amount of sea time that they have, because then we can see exactly what kind of candidates you want to put forward, and then we can discuss that with NOTI NUSI as to whether, yes, they would be appropriate for this course, or no, they need this, or whatever it is. So on the application form, there is the opportunity to upload documents onto there as evidence. So just as a suggestion, if you upload what the documents that candidate has, we can then take that away, discuss it, and then get back to you as to whether he would be appropriate for the course or not. Would that be okay?
Yeah, yes, perfectly. All right. We have requested for that. We will like to have at least 5 guys. So 5 gentlemen. Definitely, I am going to have as per your requirements. Probably slightly more what Captain Shankalp has added. I am going to have the guys with the watch keeping. But since we are having probably few more guys, and in case your course is having some slot, I like the students to get benefited, and same as we also should be getting benefited.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'd suggest put them all through, and we can assess, and then we'll get back to you if there's any problems with anything that you've submitted.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much. Thank you.
Can I just
No
butt
problem.
in there, Rob, for a moment?
Of course.
Yeah, so basically, just for the newcomers, 3 years ago, actually, we had this first talk about we need fitters. And actually,
Oh, Casti, we've lost your audio.
oh, sorry.
I can hear you. Don't worry. Try again.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, loud and
Yeah.
clear.
Sometimes it
Oh.
drops out, Casti. I don't know why. You sound loud and clear, and then you go muted. I don't know why.
Okay, so let me just try the. Okay, now.
It seems to be yes.
So yeah,
No, it's
Uh,
coming broken.
Broken again.
again broken. Okay. Let me just. Yeah.
Always technical difficulties. Try again, Casti.
Am I better now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, 3 years ago, we had this first talk about looking for welders. And I was the one who actually signposted the team as to why don't we go and look in India. So it's come 3 years down the line. And the basic fundamental concept was members wanted to send their people for upskilling. So it was not like we want to find fitters. We have people from our group members who would like to send their people for upskilling. So that's how the fundamental concept came in. Of course, we can go to the next step of can we hire people outside and then train them by using IMEC resources? But that's another ballgame altogether. The original plan was, can we upskill our own people, Rob? So that I just wanted to bring it back into focus.
No, thanks, Albin. Thanks for the context. I think it's really important to highlight that. And Subodh, just for your knowledge, you know, we're constantly grasping different potential initiatives, and you know, sometimes when it comes to establishing new initiatives, we don't know all of the answers. We try our best to figure out what requirements might work, and we test them, and through that pilot process, we try to understand the best way forward. And I think as a result of that, you know, we could sit here for 6 months, 3 months, 12 months and look to refine the most perfect course. But I think one of the things that IMEC is primed for, and we're quite well known for, is ensuring that we put something out there that's ready, that can then start the actual ball rolling, and then we perfect that process as time goes on. So I think, as Chloe mentioned, please just send through the details of what you have, and we'll work on that with NUSI and NOTI to make sure that we can put as many through that course as possible, because we really see it as a great initiative for upskilling our members, seafarers. So hopefully that answers your question. What I'll do now is I'll move forward. Sankalp, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, Rob, I think we are going into 6G and all that, but the whole concept was to create engine fitters from current seafarers that we feel can be upskilled for engine fitters. Not all engine fitters have 6G certificates. 3G is good enough. And for you to convert from that 3G to 6G, you need to have some kind of experience working on ships. And again, when we are looking at this fitter program, one of the things that Subodh brought up is getting welder fitters who have been working in shipyards. But Subodh, what we want them to have is feel of the machinery space, because we are looking at creating future engine fitters. Welder fitters, 6G is not a problem. You've got people who are working in various shipyards who are only welding, cutting, and all that. You can upgrade them because they have existing 3G certification. They can be upgraded to 6G, so that is not an issue. The main issue that the industry had,
I
which
lost
has
you
been
there.
spoke. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So the main issue that we came to know from the industry is proper engine fitters. That is why we came with this requirement that pre-sea training is required or rather GP rating training is required, because the basic is already there. 6 months sea time so that they have a feel of the ship. You can't send a person who we call a fitter, directly on the ship saying that he's got no say experience, but he's got sure experience. He's been trained on lathes, he's been trained on drills, he's been trained on everything, and then sees the ship for the first time. That is why we came up with these requirements. But going ahead, what you have said, we can look at maybe alternate programs that fit what your requirements are, and we can discuss about that further.
Yeah, and just to elaborate further, and Sankalp was with us and in India earlier this year. We've looked at a number of potential opportunities, and this is the first of those to look at how we can provide fitters into the industry, and we hope that as we go forward, there might be some other initiatives that we've thought of and other proposals that we'll put forward, but we're not in that perfect time at the moment to announce those. So this is certainly something we've looked at. We've put something in established so that we can start the ball rolling and start this training, and we'll certainly grow and learn from this and hopefully improve as we go on. Thanks, Sankalp, for that. Jonathan, is there a question you'd like to ask?
Yes, good day, everyone. Thank you very much for the presentation. Very informative. Just a couple of questions. So you'll have to forgive my ignorance slightly as a former deck officer, but in terms of the welding and the class welding specifically, from looking through our seafarers, we only have 6G level. So if guys were to come through this training course and come out with the 3G accreditation, I know you said the NUSI is accredited by DMV. In terms of getting a class welding certificate from DMV, is that possible at 3G level?
That is a very good question, and I think rather than continuing that ignorance, Jonathan, what I'll do is I'll pass it over to Pushpan or Srirang. Can you answer that question? Did you hear the question? Pushpan, can you hear me?
I can answer. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Jonathan. Let me first tell you that we already trained your candidates for 6G in past. So as far as the 3G is concerned, if the 3G also we can certify it through the radiography. But in this particular course, we are not sending the test coupon to the radiography. We are going to do by the NDT so in-house only. So that depends on in future if you want to enhance the skill of your candidate. What we did in last time with your candidate is they want the 32 mm LR certification, and that we successfully did it. But we have a 10 mm also to begin with the candidate. Begin with after the 3G, they go with the 10 mm. Then the chances are high to get the certificate, because in a 6G, once they fail, they will not going to get. They have to repeat all the process again, and that is quite expensive for all the personal level and the professional level. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, so that's fine. And the second part of that then, so in terms of what you've said there about people that are already trained to a 6G level but just don't have the certificate but have the necessary sort of skills and everything. And going back to the second question, you mentioned that there might be options to top up with a 6G course at the end of this training program. Just a sort of indicative time frame of how long that might take.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
That's already a design. Our design course is for the 2 weeks. But that also, once you nominate the candidate for the 6G, for the day one, we give them a task for the 3G. If the candidate passes out, then only we continue for the 6G. If the candidate failed in 3G, will not continue in 6G, because to call the LR for the certification that one day, that cost high.
It's very expensive.
Yes,
it's very expensive.
No?
So what I'm understanding from that, Jonathan, is that essentially this course could be a very good springboard for candidates that perhaps haven't done that work before, but also there's flexibility to look at people that perhaps, like you said, have already done a lot of the skill set but don't have the certification. So certainly you can reach out through NOTI. It sounds like that you already have that arrangement, something similar in place. So hopefully that helps your questions.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks. Martin, you've been patiently waiting in the background. You have a question for us?
Actually, first of all, thank you very much for the very informative presentation and for this initiative. My question was more or less within the same scope of the question of Jonathan. Just one clarification, because during the presentation was mentioned Lloyd Register and then DNV. Which one of the two organizations is the certifying organizations for the fitters or welders afterwards?
Yeah,
So
thanks, Martin.
Can I answer? Yeah, the DNV is our MTP, the marine training provider with NOTI. And LR is the welding certification partner. So these both are a different role, at the different role at NOTI. Yeah, Captain Manjeshwar want to say something.
Yeah. Actually, I'll just give you a thing. The entire institute is approved as a maritime training provider under the DNV rules, MTP, maritime training provider. And for the 6G welding, we use Lloyd Register for giving us for testing and for the final certification. So the institute on a whole is approved by DNV under the MTP rules, maritime training provider rules. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. So to answer your question, Martin, as they perfectly said, DNV has accredited the facility, and then the 6G welding and that certifying authority would come from Lloyd's Register. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. And then we've come full circle. Let's go back to Casti. You've got your hand up again. Oh, you're muted, Casti.
Yeah. What happens if a lot of companies want to send their people? Then who will do the vetting, so to speak? Like some of the guys attending said they already have 5 guys out of 24, 5 guys already lined up. So what happens if a lot of the IMEC guys want to send their people? Will there be some sort of screening vetting? I mean, just have you contemplated it?
Yeah, of course, and actually, as Chloe mentioned earlier, part of the reasoning we haven't put essentially cut-offs and things is that anyone who does come forward and they don't meet the timing for the first course will just be placed onto the next one. So I guess what thinking forward, because I do play chess and sometimes you have to think like that. When we get perhaps to the last course, the 5th course, and perhaps there is a large group of people still waiting to go on this, then that's one, that proves that the course is successful, so that would be fantastic. Secondly, that would allow us to start negotiations with NUSI and NOTI about this pilot course becoming a full-fledged course and a second year. And so I think my answer to you, Casti, is please put as many candidates that you have at Western Shipping and our members companies, put them forward, and then that will be a really nice problem that we'll have to deal with coming back to the end of the year next year, if that helps. We'll always try and ensure that every course is filled to its maximum, and then that would then move over to the next course. All right. Perfect. Well, I think I've taken up a lot of your time this morning, or afternoon and evening, and I don't want to hold you too much longer. Is there any other comments while we have all of you here? If there's anything you'd like to mention or anything at all? Leave a little bit of a period here. Okay, fantastic. As I mentioned, I'll share the presentation after this, and I'll also give you all of the links so that you don't have to just scan a QR code, so you can hopefully all start registering your interest, so we can start that first 15th of January course with the maximum 36. But all that's left for me to say really is a big thank you. Shirang, Puspin, and also Fayaz, thank you for taking the time out to give some more detail about the course. Chloe as well, you know, we work really hard in IMEC to try and put these initiatives together for all of you, and you know, we all might be smiling now, but there's a lot of administration that goes into the back of these tasks, and without Chloe and the rest of the team at IMEC, these initiatives wouldn't be possible. So obviously, as always, a big thank you, and thank you to all of you for coming to this meeting. And I'll make sure I put this recording onto YouTube for everyone to look at. But thank you, everyone, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks,
See you.
everyone.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you and bye-bye.
See you next week. Yep. Bye.
Next
Bye.
week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.